Today we're testing history's craziest techniques to cook chicken. From grilling in seaweed to braising in mud, we're even trying a French method where we cook a whole chicken inside a pig's bladder.
That is so gross.
Max, what the hell was that?
We're truly trying it all. Is the world's most popular bird best kept simple? Or should we bring back these wild techniques? Let's find out. You may have heard of caveman steak, where you cook a steak directly on coals, but this is caveman chicken. First step is to spatchcock. Cooking on coals is a technique dating back to the Mesopotamians in 6000 BC, but I truly have no idea what's gonna happen when we put this thing directly on the charcoal. And now we crack the back like a chiropractor. Oh yeah, it's a nice adjustment on the C4. Honestly, I have no idea if this method's gonna work whatsoever, but keep in mind that as the video progresses, each method will continue to get more and more crazy. And let's get it on the coals. We have some fully lit hardwood charcoal that's super clean, unlike briquettes that tend to get ashy and sooty, which is not ideal for caveman style. And on with the chicken. I really hope this thing doesn't burn to a crisp. It's been 20 minutes, let's give it a flip. Well, it's reached its internal temp and it should be done. Okay guys, a few things to note here. One, the heat has completely chopped off this front bone here. We also have a bunch of charcoal that's like adhered to the meat. That is not something I've seen before with a roasted chicken. But by far the biggest question mark is what's going on the bottom here. Is it edible or completely burned to a crisp? There's a bit of excessive burning on this one thigh, but I have to say the rest of it is looking great. I mean, this one here is looking a bit rough. I think this bone has turned into charcoal. Peel away the charcoal from that beautiful wing. It seems pretty juicy. I mean, this looks pretty good to me. And chicken number one.
It smells like char, tastes like char.
But in a good way. It's a very strong, charred, smoky, crispy flavor.
That makes me feel like a hot summer night.
It makes you feel like a hot summer night.
It reminds me when I was a kid and we'd go to the beach and it'd be nighttime and we'd have campfire and just burgers and grilling. And
to be fair though, I think that's because Dad was overcooking the burgers every time.
Like that chicken stayed so juicy even though it's directly on the coals.
The one thing is the skin over the top isn't as crispy as it could be. I was a little hesitant to go directly on the coals on that side, but all things considered, that is a huge success. But the big question, is this better or worse than a rotisserie chicken? 1, 2, 3.
What? I love that campfire smoky flavor on chicken.
It was close for me, but I will say there is nothing like a perfect rotisserie chicken. And when I mean rotisserie chicken, I mean like from BJ's, Costco, Stop and Shop, like a supermarket rotisserie chicken. That is gonna be our barometer for the day. Unfortunately, this one did not win. Let's move on. I actually decided, guys, I've been moving on this way, but let's move on this way from now on. It makes more sense. Next up, with origins from ancient Rome, we have pollo al matone, AKA this chicken is getting bricked up. This technique is over 500 years old, with origins from rustic farmhouse cooking in central Italy. And while this technique might seem like fun stunt food, it's actually genius if you want extra crispy skin. Going with a traditional marinade of olive oil, salt and pepper, lemon zest and juice. Ooh, that's a juicy boy. You know it's gonna be a good day when your lemon's that juicy. Garlic, rosemary, sage, and chili flakes. It already smells incredible and will just completely cover the chicken, getting all those flavors incorporated. And we'll marinate. And just like that, we're all marinated. Time to cook. Chicken goes on a cast iron skin side down, then those bricks go on top and into the grill or oven. The weight of the bricks forces direct contact of the skin with the hot pan, and because it's spatchcocked, all the skin is facing the same direction for ultimate skin on pan contact. This is what she's looking like. I'll remove the bricks and oh yeah, the color is looking unbelievable. I mean, not only does this look incredible, but this is also like the best smelling chicken I've ever cooked. Let's see how it tastes. Chicken breast is definitely not my favorite because it's usually dry, but this is looking super juicy. A touch of finishing olive oil and lemon over the top. Let's see how it tastes. Brick chicken. That is an insane amount of flavor, and we didn't really even add that much. The It felt so simple.
Love the lemony tanginess to that. That is so good.
The best foods are the ones where you only have a few ingredients, but they're just high quality ingredients that work really well. It reminds me of that duck that we did. The duck was a little bit crispier because it's so fatty, but this worked really well too. That's a great dish.
Everything just caramelized so much too. Like the skin is crispy, but then also like the flavors just seeped into the skin in a very interesting way. It's almost like it's like a tacky exterior.
It's like a feasible recipe to make chicken a little bit more interesting and exciting.
I mean, this right here is 10 times better than a regular roasted chicken. I'm saying it's better. It's definitely better.
I think so too.
I'm glad we can agree on that. This one that's banging. Dating back to the year 500 in China, we have Hakka salt-baked chicken. This is a crazy technique originating in China and involves cooking chicken in warmed salt. It's a method that's said to have helped with food preservation before there were refrigerators, but when I saw this recipe, I knew it was something we had to try for ourselves. We've added our aromatics, followed by a final paint job of cooking lime. And we'll let this dry out for a couple hours in the fridge. And just like that, our chicken is all dried out. Next step is to wrap the chicken in cheesecloth, which sort of acts as a barrier to the salt, tying it off nice and tight. And now we actually need to preheat our salt. It's a very strange concept, just filling up a pan with a bunch of salt, then essentially just cooking it. There's nothing worse than overcooked salt. It gets all chewy. Oh, I was trying to make a joke and I just got salt all over the ground. Now I gotta clean that up too. Okay, so the salt is officially hot to the touch. Time to add in roughly an inch to our pan over here. Chicken in, and then we'll completely cover in that super hot salt. And even just wash your hands in the flow of the salt. And let's see if this works. It's been an hour and a half and I am extremely excited to see what's going on in here. It is so weird. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it sounds like it's boiling in there. Almost like it's filled with water. Very hard crust. This is nuts. And we'll unearth our buried treasure. There's like this crazy salt shell around the chicken. Got some crazy burning on the bottom. Hope this doesn't break on me. Whew, super hot. It's all caramelized to itself. Let's crack into it. Not really sure what I was expecting here, but it wasn't exactly this. Like that is some bland looking skin. Oh yeah, this is what we're looking for. Sophia, come here, check this out. Sophia, what are you doing, Sophia? Get I will say the bottom, I can't tell if it's burned or perfectly caramelized, but at least we have some color. On inspection, it actually looks like this is just burned cheesecloth that is fused to the chicken. Once again, I mean, this is insanely tender. While there might be a lack of crust, it seems to have made up for it in tenderness. Salt-baked chicken.
I'm shocked. It's not overly salty. It's perfectly salted and it's super juicy.
What comes to mind for me is like fully flavored. As salty as it should be, no more, no less.
The salt really penetrates all throughout, but at the perfect amount. But I will say, it's nothing special.
The skin is definitely a negative.
I'm not getting that contrasting flavor of skin and a little crispy and a little bit of something else. It just seems all seasoned chicken.
But the fact that it's not too salty is exciting enough for me.
Also, that sauce is incredible. The spicy Chinese sauce balances really nicely with the fully seasoned chicken.
But unfortunately for me, if the skin was crispy, it would have a chance. Be gone! Okay guys, nothing against chicken, but we need to go back to our roots and cook ourselves a steak. Which brings us to the sponsor of today's video, Graza. Graza is the world's best tasting olive oil, and they just added an exciting new product to their lineup. Sizzle is their tried and true everyday cooking olive oil, perfect for sauteing and roasting. It's the workhorse of olive oils. Next we have Drizzle, the high quality finishing oil. Honestly, if you're like me, you can just drink this one right out of the bottle. And finally we have the brand new Frizzle, the one I'm most excited about. This is a high heat cooking olive oil, which is perfect for frying, grilling, and searing. With a more neutral flavor, it reaches the same super high smoke point as many other neutral oils, but the key is that it's still a high quality olive oil made from 100% olives. You guys have heard me say to avoid high heat cooking with olive oil in the past, but with Frizzle, the game has been changed and steaks like this cooked in olive oil are now possible. Get 10% off the Graza Trio through the link in my description or QR code on screen. Thank you, Graza, and let's get back to it. This will always be better than chicken. Next up, we're cooking this one in hay. Hey. This dish is called poulet au jaune. Definitely mispronounced that, but it translates to chicken with hay and is a traditional French dish dating back to at least the 18th century. It was apparently a way to utilize the abundance of hay available at farms, but I am not convinced that this is something humans should actually be eating. Not really sure what I was expecting. Kind of smells like my old bunny rabbit that I used to have. Rest in peace. But I guess we're using this to cook our chicken. Things start off normal here with some olive oil, salt, and pepper, but that's about to change. And now we're just gonna make a little nest of hay for our chicken, because every chicken needs a comfy little nest. And then finally, in with the chicken. Ooh, it's a nice snug fit. Now, believe it or not, with the next step, we're actually making dough. And as you guys know, I am not much of a baker, but fortunately with this type of bread, we don't have to eat it. There's just something about baking and making dough that I really dislike. It just sticks to your fingers. You never know if it's gonna taste good until the very end. Like, did I add the right amount of salt? Did I add the right amount of flour? There's just way too many variables, but either way, I think we're ready to go. So now I apparently need to roll this out into one giant strand. Then we apply our dough to the rim, like so. It's almost like we've made a little pie crust for our hay chicken. And now we'll seal this baby in. Let's get this in the oven. We've given it an hour and 15. Honestly, I have no idea if this is done, but either way, let's crack into it. I mean, first and foremost, that is some crispy crust on there. And I don't think you're supposed to do this, but you know I'm going for a bite. Oh yeah. Oh, This is my 2-ingredient bread, flour and water. This should be good. Not a single person watching this is gonna believe me, but I actually enjoyed this. It's like a cracker. If you guys are lucky, I'll share my recipe in the next video. All right, let's try to open this. Oh, well, that was a lot easier than I expected. It's very earthy. And now the final step is to throw this back in the oven for about 10-15 minutes to crisp up. It's been about 10 minutes and it's actually looking pretty good. Okay, there is hay all over this chicken. How did hay get there? I wiped off as much hay as I could, and breaking this down, it does look pretty decent. Super juicy. It's almost like it's been steamed, so it does appear full of moisture. Let's see how it is. Come on, not everybody at once.
I don't like this.
I really like it.
What? That was very barn flavored chicken.
If a pet store's smell went into a seasoning bottle, that's what it tastes like it was seasoned with.
When you smell hay, it has that sweet tinge to it. It fully transplants onto the chicken. It's almost like a green tea flavor that I really like.
It's super earthy.
It looked so Martha Stewart vibes.
1, 2, 3. Unfortunately not worth it, but a lot of fun.
You like going into the hamster section as being like,
Yeah. This next one should be interesting. We're cooking this chicken in wine. So for this one, we only need half a chicken. I say it's time we test my skills. Kyle, I got a question. What are the chances you think I can slice this chicken in half perfectly?
0.
Split right down the middle.
Huh, I see one piece of chicken.
Just touch this up. And that's how you split a chicken. Cooking chicken in wine is an ancient practice, but needless to say, I've never done it to this extent before. And to sear, we're adding some frizzle. This is just to get some nice color and crisp up the skin. Time for the wine. That was easy. Really want to taste the flavor, so I'm doing the whole bottle. Adding in just a little bit of stock, just a couple tablespoons of fish sauce.
Give them a little bit of that honey for the money.
As my good friend Malcolm Reed would say. And we'll finish by seasoning and adding some aromatics. Back in with the chicken. Figured I'll throw in one more bottle just to completely cover the chicken. When we said cooked in wine, we meant it. And we'll let that cook. And just like that, it should be done. And the color of this chicken is wild at this point. It's fully taken on a dark red color, almost as if it's been stained. I'm very interested to see if the wine flavors penetrated and if this is something worth recreating. Does this look familiar, Sophia, the purple chicken? Smell that. Taste that. That is unbelievable.
So good.
The depth of flavor.
The wine comes out in a really great way. I think it's because we use so much. And usually, like stews, only use a little bit. We went heavy and it tastes great.
It's not bitter. It's not overly sweet. It's this deep, savory flavor.
It reminds me very much of chicken marsala,
Yes,
which is usually
exactly.
made
That's
with
what it
white
is.
wine.
I like it more than Marsala, do you?
Yeah.
There is one downside. We don't have the crispy skin, but flavor-wise and also like moisture-wise, it's so juicy. All right, right, 1, 2, 3. I had a feeling it'd be like that.
But one bite of this
Yeah.
is an awesome change of pace for chicken.
I wouldn't want this for dinner every day. I could probably eat a rotisserie chicken like once every other day.
But you guys should definitely make this. We're cooking this next chicken with the sun.
Dad?
Not with your son, with the sun. Like, up there. This device claims to be able to cook food strictly using the power of the sun, but I am highly skeptical that this is gonna even get remotely hot enough to cook a chicken. But either way, we'll get it seasoned. Next, we'll whip out our sun bag and in with the chicken. So I am extremely interested in seeing if this thing actually gets hot at all. So I'm gonna throw in a little thermometer, actually go through the leg and out so that the tip is right between the legs and we can accurately see the temperature of our little solar oven. Now we'll get this shut, throw it on the platform, get it into the oven, and we'll let it work its magic.
Nice. I think you gotta get some sun on it.
Right you are. We'll get it set up directly in the sun. I swear if my neighbors don't think I'm crazy yet, this might be the final straw. It is also gonna be extremely awkward when an Amazon delivery guy comes to our house and this is what they see in the front lawn. How do you explain a chicken in a bikini cooking in the sun? So we just got a delivery ordered. Let's see what he thought of the chicken. What? He didn't even notice our chicken and he's skipping away. That is some good service right there. Well, the sun is just about setting. Let's check on that chicken. Okay, so it has been hovering right around 160 Fahrenheit, which I'm hoping means it's essentially being sous vide, but there's only one way to find out. All right, let's get her inside. And it has been over 6 hours of sunbathing and somehow this chicken is done. At least, I really hope it's done. Sun-cooked chicken.
Tastes like it was sous vide.
Exactly like that.
It's really soft, really juicy. It's pretty good.
I'm gonna be honest, I feel like it's raw. I don't think I'm gonna swallow
You
it.
think it's raw? I'm like 50% sure that it's safe to eat.
Very safe. 50-50.
That was a non-skin piece. I need you guys to just taste the skin with me.
Oh, nice.
We gotta
I
do it
was
together.
hoping this was gonna
We
happen.
gotta do it together.
Ew. It tastes like raw chicken and I'm disgusted right now.
I think this is a raw freaking chicken.
The meat wasn't that bad. The skin was so disgusting, I wanna go use mouthwash. 2 thumbs down.
Okay, I agree.
You might as well eat a raw chicken cutlet.
Next up, we have 2 techniques that involve wrapping chickens and throwing them on coals. What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing can possibly go wrong.
Technique number 1 is wrapping the chicken in banana leaves, something that's been done globally throughout history, but I have no idea what will happen when it goes directly in a pit of hot charcoal. Stuff the chicken with tons of aromatics and time to wrap. So it's not the holiday time, but you do need to go into that back room and pull out your wrapping paper that you use once a year, because we're wrapping this chicken. Banana leaves are great because they're massive and quite strong, and I just wrapped up our present. Wrap job number 1 is complete. Time for number 2, and this one is way crazier. Going a bit lighter on the salt this time because our wrapping paper does have some salt in it. Yes, we are wrapping this in seaweed. Now we'll stuff with a bunch of herbs. This one's a lot less popular than banana leaves, but in some coastal and island cultures, meat is wrapped in seaweed for its insulating, flavor enhancing, and mineral rich properties. But we'll be the judge of that. Just completely covering it in the rehydrated seaweed with a layer of tinfoil at the bottom to keep it all together. I have no idea if this is gonna work. Let's get them on the grill. We'll put them both directly onto the fire and let them go. Well, it's been a few hours. I'm excited to see that they don't appear to be completely burned to a crisp. The leaves definitely help protect the meat. I mean, you really get the full spectrum of textures here. Zero crust, extremely burnt, but somewhere right in the middle, there's a perfect bite of crispy skin. That's what I'm talking about. Can't judge solely based on looks, because what matters most is how it tastes. And this does look pretty juicy. Now we'll crack into the seaweed chicken. Oh, it's like all stuck together. Almost like it's been glued. Definitely smells like seaweed. Check out the crust on that chicken. That is what I'm talking about. All right, Sophia, come here. You gotta hear this.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I mean, it doesn't have a super crispy skin, but whoa, I mean, the legs are literally just falling right off. And it does look juicy and super tender. Let's see how they taste. Let's start with this one.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
It's not terrible, but it's like a little tad fishy, and that's just kind of gross.
I have like this seaweed skincare situation, and this is what I feel like it tastes like.
For me, it tastes exactly like seaweed and rosemary. All right, well, let's try this one. Maybe it'll be better.
It's better.
Very earthy.
I don't really like either of these, but this one is definitely better than that one.
I mean, I will say they're both tender. They're both juicy. You do get more char flavor.
It needs some strong flavors to, I think, count for no crispy skin.
I think that's the takeaway. If you are gonna cover your chicken or whatever it is in banana leaves or something that's gonna steam it, make sure you remove the skin, and more importantly, make sure you marinate it.
Definitely not as good.
Unfortunately. This one should be fun. We're cooking this chicken covered in mud inside of a fire. And for this one, we are actually completely removing the skin for the first time today. Given that it's essentially gonna be steamed, we've learned that it is impossible to achieve crispy skin, so I'm hoping this will help. Cooking in clay and mud likely dates back to over 10,000 years ago, making it perhaps the most prehistoric method of the day. Chicken skin has been removed. Why does it kind of look like granny panties? You can probably squeeze into these things. All right, Kyle, get you something. I'm tired of the bland steamed chicken today, so for this one, we'll score the meat to ensure those flavors penetrate deeply. And now we'll add a bunch of flavor, going with a Polynesian theme, starting with ginger, garlic, and chilies. And now we'll grind it up, finishing with some paprika, chili flakes, black pepper, and chili sauce. And that right there is a flavor bomb. And it's time for banana leaves round 2. Completely covering the chicken, getting it all up in there, and just finishing with some lemon juice. And we'll get it wrapped up in the banana leaves nice and tight, and just one layer of tinfoil because what we're about to add to it is gonna get messy. And now it's time to make some mud. Wait, Sophia, we got the wrong type. I specifically asked for the chicken use. You got the in-ground use.
All right, Max, I got you a new one.
All right, this looks a lot better, thank you. Full disclosure, I have never made mud before, so please bear with me. Okay, Sophia, what do we add to make mud? Like, what's the recipe here?
I mean, you gotta season it, right?
Good point. Do a little smoked paprika, a little bit of ground coriander. You can never forget about the bay leaves. Don't add too many, they can have kind of a strong flavor. I'll add 2. I don't know about you guys, but I like my dirt spicy, so throwing in some red pepper flakes. And last but not least, finish it off with some salt. I like kosher for this. And finally, we'll top with the water. Now we mix. Oh, it smells like dirt. Oh, what a mess. My hands are so dirty. And our mud should be good to go. Layer 1 down. And on with the package. And I'll get the sides as well. Oh God, Sophia, I think we got a worm in there. That's more protein. Want this thing completely engulfed by the mud, sealing it fully shut. We got a runner. That is just so off-putting. And let's get it on the grill. Ooh, that's heavy. First layer of charcoal below the tray so it gets hot from all angles. And now I'm basically just building a fire over the mud chicken, adding some applewood chunks for no other reason than to perfume my neighborhood with that sweet, sweet smell. Going heavy on the charcoal, I want to make sure this actually works. All right, I have no idea if it's cooking properly in there, no idea how long to cook it for, but let's let it go. Okay, it's been an hour and a half. Let's see if it's done.
Excavating our mud-cooked chicken out of its pile of embers, and I'll just remove all that extra mud. Let's open her up. It definitely feels hot. I just hope it's actually cooked through. We have made it to the final layer. Let's open up this present.
Think any of the worms are in there?
Oh, don't mention the worms, Sophia. And don't tell Kyle. Kyle hates worms.
Don't tell Kyle what?
Let's see what we got. Oh, wow. Oh, it is hot. This is definitely cooked. It looks packed with flavor. Let's see what we got here. Oh, that's tender. It looks like there's way more flavor penetration. You don't have to deal with that slimy skin. I can't believe how well it cooked in that mud. This is crazy.
Punch of flavor.
Yeah. Usually banana leaves are too intense, but all that heat, all that flavor balances it out. Unfreaking believable.
It's gingery, it's a little spicy, it's tangy, it's juicy. Fresh acidity and just herbs are ground up in there. That is incredible.
but it's not overpowering.
But it works so well together. I think the way it's cooked lets those flavors just cook down, but it's so powerful and so amazing.
And I think removing the skin was a game changer.
Yeah.
Because usually if you steam chicken, the skin gets all nasty, kind of rubbery. But without it there, you just have super flavorful chicken meat.
I think this is my favorite way to eat chicken.
Easy thumbs up for me.
Easy.
Definitely. Believe it or not, we're cooking this next chicken with stones. Cooking with hot stones is one of the oldest known culinary techniques, dating back tens of thousands of years, possibly even as far back as 50,000 BC, which is crazy to think about. Now let's talk about our cooking vessel. Way back in the day, people didn't have access to fire-safe pots, only things like this one made out of clay or wood, making this method the only way to heat them up. And the only thing left to do is get these rocks hot. Back outside, I'm just throwing these rocks directly inside the fire. I really hope these rocks don't explode on me. While those rocks are getting hot, let's assemble the soup. And I'll throw in a variety of simple ingredients. It looks really good and fresh, but honestly, I don't have much confidence any of this will actually cook. Now let's add in the chicken. And I'll just finish with some rosemary and thyme. And we'll cover with water. All right, let's check outside. Hopefully those rocks are hot. Just realizing now they're gonna have to be ridiculously hot to heat this whole thing up, but we'll see if it works. Okay, it looks like it's starting to heat up the water. They're definitely sizzling in there. Guys, I am shocked, but at least at the top here, we're at 175 Fahrenheit, which technically means that chicken is cooking right now. Well, I've completely run out of rocks. I'm just hoping one of those little wings comes up to temp. We're gonna let it sit for a while and see what happens. Okay guys, I've been closely monitoring the internal temperature of this wing here. It has reached no higher than 151 degrees Fahrenheit, which is sort of right on the edge of food safe. I wouldn't choose to eat this, but it only means one thing. Okay, Kyle, I made a wing for you.
Oh, nice, thank you. Looks kind of weird.
Just take a little bite.
Tastes a little weird too.
What does it taste like?
It's really soft and rubbery.
Does it taste cooked?
I freaking hope it's cooked. Is it cooked?
Don't worry about that. Is it better or worse than a rotisserie chicken?
It's not even close.
Sadly, there's our answer. Moving on.
Seriously, what was that?
I cooked it with a rock. And we have reached by far the craziest chicken technique of the day. We're cooking this one in a pork bladder. So chicken cooked inside of pig bladder is actually a legit French technique. They came completely unrefrigerated, which is sort of weird to me, but they do appear salted. We're gonna crack this open. Let's see what we got. Unrefrigerated salted bladder. It is exactly what you think it would smell like. Oh God, I'm sweating. Guys, I'm telling you, we've smelled some crazy stuff on this channel. I think this is the worst one. How is the chicken gonna fit in here, guys? What's going on? Is this meant to be eaten?
Yeah, I ate one for breakfast.
Oh. Is this meant to be eaten? Did we buy this from a website where it's like, this is to eat? Or is this meant to be like, you turn this into something else?
How much experience do you think I have with hog bladders? It's the same place I get my zebra meat.
Give it a little whiff. This is a French dish that they sell at really fancy restaurants, and the preparation's super cool. It's like a big balloon. The chicken is literally cooked inside of this. Unfortunately, our bladders are way too small. We're not gonna cook the whole chicken. I'm gonna take off a leg, put it in here, but we're still gonna follow the same recipe, or at least a similar one. Kyle, please apply. Yeah, get it in there, nice and, yeah. Yeah, all right. This is gonna go down in history as the worst smelling thing I've ever smelled in my entire life. If you happen to be a French chef watching this and you know what is going on here, is it supposed to smell like this? I decided to take off the mask so you guys could understand me better. Sacrificing for you all. If you are still watching and enjoying this video, please just let me know down in the comments. Is any of this worth it? So apparently the next thing they add is a bit of foie gras, which usually I enjoy, but something about fatty duck liver going inside the pig bladder stuffed with chicken is a combination that just isn't quite sitting right. Next, we'll season the inside with salt, some black pepper, some cooking wine, some cognac. Finally, we have some black truffles, and then we're gonna very tightly tie up the sack. Now we're just gonna slowly dip in bladder. All right, it has been a full hour. The entire house smells like urine soup. It's bad, but we're done. It's like a buoyant buoy. It's a diluted smell, but it's still bad. Now there's really only one question left. Does it bounce? like a little water bottle. Let's slice into it. I have no idea what's about to happen. This is about to look delicious, I can guarantee it. How's the crust on this chicken, I wonder? And here's the fetus. Oh God, who wants to eat this? Kyle, you want a bite?
I've been waiting for you to offer me one.
All right, get a plate, time to eat. Guys, we've made it to our final chicken of the day. Something went horribly wrong because, Sophie, you've had this before in a restaurant, right?
I've had this before. There's a restaurant called Epicure in Paris. That was my hand touching it. It was amazing. This, however, smells like absolute porta potty.
Dude, I don't think I can.
Kyle, put it in your mouth.
I don't want to.
Kyle, put it in your mouth.
That is so gross.
Max, what the hell was that?
Someone please let us know what we did wrong in the comments. But either way, hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Ugh.